Speaking of Dr. Khaled, I want to talk about some brothers who very much are in the vein of Dr. Khaled, to the point of one of them physically resembling him. I just wanted to ask you about the AES and the work that's going on in the Sahel with Baba Goita and Chiani, and of course the good brother Ibrahim Traore. Just talk about your feelings about that, brother.
I'll say it this way. I've never seen a situation in America where if you get locked in the bird cage of America, just looking at the condition of America and black people, and really everybody, particularly for black people in America, I've never seen it this grim. And it has a lot to do with the world condition and what that means for us. But the brightest spot in the universe right now in my life, in terms of outlook that's positive and progressive, is what I think is the most promising opportunity in my 51 years of living. I just turned 51 December 2nd. What's happening in the AES with, like he said, Baba in Mali with Baba Goita, in Burkina Faso with Baba Traore, and in Niger with Baba Chiani. These three brothers, strong black men, all military, have taken over their nations, are turning the countries around, ending corruption, militarily running it's the French and the extensions of the French, who these sick black folks that are part of these Islamic extremist groups that are coming in and killing black people. They're running them out. They're killing them. They're stopping them from coming in and killing and invading and terrorizing the nations. And it's a war. I mean, it's not easy, and they're working together. Three nations that are connected to one another, working together.
Nos peuples ont irrévocablement tourné le dos à la CEDEAO. Il nous appartient aujourd'hui de faire la Confédération Alliance des États du Sahel, une alternative à tout regroupement régional factice, en construisant une communauté souveraine des peuples.
L'Afrique, ce continent qui a tant souffert et qui continue de souffrir du fait des impérialistes. Ces impérialistes n'ont qu'un seul cliché en tête. L'Afrique est l'empire des esclaves. C'est comme ça qu'ils voient l'Afrique. Pour eux, les Africains les appartiennent. Nos terres les appartiennent. Nos sous-sols les appartiennent. Ils n'ont jamais pu changer de logiciel jusqu'aujourd'hui.
In the interest of putting the French out, they put the French armies out. They've taken back control of their economies. They've partnered with the Federation, the Russian Federation. So they now have a superpower that they're working with that can help them support staying alive, because we've had a lot of good African leaders come. We just have had so many of them that were murdered because the interests of the West would pay, and we would have people that would come and take the lives of them. So far, I can't count. I think it's over 12. It might be 20. I don't know how many coups they've had to try to kill Baba Ibrahim Traore in Burkina Faso, but they've all been unsuccessful. It's almost like every week or two we find out. I mean, these are elaborate efforts to try to get rid of them, because one, the infighting and the jealousy and envy our people are operating with, and two, the money that's being fueled in from Western interests to say, hey, get rid of these people, because the threat is what Dr. John Henry Clark told us. He said, all we have to do is see one African nation do the right thing. We are rhythmic people. We'll start following behind, and the next thing you know, it'll be an explosion in Africa. Well, who would have ever thought that we would have had 3 brothers in nations right next to each other, connected, so they can help support one another in military issues and economics, who would be doing it at the same time? It's one of the best. I've never seen anything like. It's a large, if we talk about the square miles of those 3 nations together and what their empirical, because I'm saying they're almost like an empire, because they're working together as one entity. Even though they're 3 separate nations, they're working together as one entity. If you take those 3 together, the land mass and what they're doing and how they're developing their nations in the direction that they're headed, to me, it's the most promising moment in my life, phenomenon in my life of where we can go as African people. Because, and this is going to be something I'm going to say, but I've been saying this to people, and I really believe this. We have been such fighters in the West. I mean, we've been some fighters that we don't really understand that we live under oppression. We know that it's an oppressive country, but we're so used to living in a state of oppression. Actual sovereignty doesn't really register to us. We've been living in the stomach of a pig and fighting for sovereignty within that stomach, and to some degree have achieved it from time to time on some level, moderate level, that it seems like if we could just get our own space in the stomach of this pig, we'll be free. Even to the point where some of our people have conditioned themselves to believe that they're the lung of a pig. You know, they're not Africans no more. They Indians or something. You know, we've conditioned ourselves to believe that we're part of this pig, or at least pig land. You know, we live in the pig pen. And so we said we was always in a pig pen. We were born in a pig pen. No. But for the first time, what I'm seeing is actual sovereignty, which means it's not just that you have African nations that, like Baba Magufuli in Tanzania, who was doing a great job of developing the nation, ending corruption and moving towards development and cohesion. But he was going to the next level. This is the next level. These guys have military, where if you decide to invade, we will blow you away. That's another level. Because it means it's not up to any whim. They can't just send somebody in to try to do harm to you. We'll do harm to them. We're moving towards real, true, and living sovereignty, which means the language that they're going to speak, they can choose for themselves. The economics, they have enough wealth in those countries that if they put the West out effectively, which they've been doing, and they galvanize their resources and put them on the market, within the next 10 years, these places could literally, I'm not exaggerating, they have enough gold, literally some of the streets can be paved in gold. Like walking to the palace of the king, literally, it could be a gold strip, solid gold leading up to the palace of the king. It's doable and achievable in our lifetime. I mean, not even lifetime, in the next 10 years. What we're seeing in the AES, in short answer to what you're saying, is the most promising potential for what the African continent could be if we could roll the potential of that region out onto the rest of the African continent.
Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Also follow us on our other social media platforms. On Instagram, we're at dc.radical1. On Twitter, we're at dc_radical_ONE. And the Cashapp is $DC Radical 1. Again, thank you for subscribing. Abibi for ODA.